Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 252 based on novel. So let's start. A piece of news came when the Universe Masters were searching for Blood Cloud Palace leader on the original stars. Star River Master from the Northern Territory Alliance had fought Blood Cloud Palace leader, and Blood Cloud Palace leader had only suffered from a slight injury even under Star River Master's best moves, and Star River Master had left voluntarily. All the Universe Masters searching the original stars were shocked. Impossible. Star River Master utilized all his power. Though I could survive that, I would be severely injured. That Blood Cloud Palace leader's power barely changed at all. How can he be that powerful? Did Blood Cloud Palace leader hide in Blood Cloud Palace? No. He withstood the supreme technique of Star River Master. They couldn't believe what they heard, and the more they learned about that fight, the more hopeless they became. Gosh. Star River Master used his best true treasure to perform his most supreme technique. Blood Cloud Palace leader was able to withstand that without even being severely hurt. A sense of hopelessness flooded almost every Universe Master's mind, even for beings like Sky Beacon Godly Master, who were confident that they were Star River Master's equals. Let's go. Let's go back. Just go. Just like that. What else can we do? If Star River Master can't deal with Blood Cloud Palace leader, then no one else can. Even Universe Supreme Masters are only slightly stronger than Star River Master. In the original universe, the power of Universe Supreme Masters was heavily constrained. What could Universe Supreme Masters do? Heavily injure Blood Cloud Palace leader? Let's go. The Universe Masters gave up one after another. They all felt helpless. I can't believe Blood Cloud Palace leader is this powerful. Although Blood Cloud Palace leader was always powerful, he wasn't as insanely powerful as this. When hunted by beings like Star River Master in the past, he would have definitely run away without putting up a fight. It's much more difficult to kill him now. Some Universe Masters chose to leave. This was how the universe worked. Power determined someone's destiny. No matter how crazy, evil, and reckless someone was, if he could become a Universe Supreme Master, no powers would dare to mess with him, and instead, they would try to butter him up. Like lone Universe Supreme Masters such as Sitting Mountain Guest and Virtual Real Devil Master, they all had weird tempers and might kill anyone at any time. No powers dared to go after them. Why? One didn't even need to be a Universe Supreme Master. Someone at Star River Master was already attractive enough for all the powers in the universe. Obviously, Blood Cloud Palace leader was hardly injured by the supreme technique of Star River Master. Apparently, he was almost at that level. Don't mess with that maniac. Don't mess with him. We can't kill him. He's great at fleeing, and he doesn't have any inhibitions. Unless we try to seal him, no powers will be willing to make such sacrifices to do that. After all, Blood Cloud Palace leader is only an individual. He's not related to any powers. One fight determined his status. Blood Cloud Palace leader had gone from a common enemy among the powers in the universe to someone no one was willing to mess with. Actually, there were powers who wanted to admit him, but based on their experience, Blood Cloud Palace leader might kill those who approached him. He was a maniac. Inside Luo Feng's God Country. Luo Feng's original plan was to take a tour on the original stars for a longer time, but he didn't expect all those Universe Masters to leave. And Luo Feng went out without being noticed. The waves were churning like thunder, tumbling through the boundless remote ocean. Above the remote ocean, at the center of his God Country and inside the Godly Palace, Luo Feng looked down at the God Country. I came back. It's done. Luo Feng smiled. He felt relieved as never before. He recalled the series of incidents starting from Virtual Real Devil Master coming after him, which triggered him to kill Heavenly Flower Knight, but he didn't expect him to hide in a Flying Palace type true treasure. That had led to a bigger incident in which he had killed 8,000 Universe Knights, fought a Universe Master, and killed more than 6,000 Universe Knights with his miniature universe. After Blood Cloud Palace leader showed himself, it had led to a larger disturbance, distracting everyone. I've achieved my goal. I'm at the same level of Master of Banff, Luo Feng thought, and I performed a supreme technique. I am a universe master. And I am a universe master who's a handful. His only weakness was his inability to control space and time, which might lead to some suspicions. However, it didn't matter. He was able to perform Golden Light and Miniature Universe, which showed Luo Feng had the power of a universe master, at least according to the powers in the universe. Besides, Luo Feng had several bodies, which meant he was extremely difficult to kill. Regardless, that Star River Master is indeed strong, Luo Feng exclaimed. If I didn't have the shuttle of Star Tower, that attack would have destroyed half of my godly body. He used the long shuttle to resist it. And then, the power was weakened by force armor, yet he had still lost 1/500th of his godly body. 2 moves could kill him. I have a weaker godly body compared to the pinnacle universe masters, and I don't have a stronger enough weapon. Luo Feng frowned. Blood Ghost Blade is not enough to fight universe masters. A body of Sinking Fire Master had a pair of hammers which was a top-tier true treasure. And he wasn't even a top-tier universe master. The Flame God Halberd that Flame Emperor used was a top-tier pinnacle true treasure, which was at the same level of force armor. Primal Chaos City Leader had 3 bodies, and the most powerful one was the one fighting in Universe Ocean, and even the one in the original star was the one wearing Thousand Treasures coat and holding a true treasure stone staff. Thousand Treasures coat was only a domain-type true treasure at the same level as the true treasure of Star River Master. As for attacking true treasures, they should be similar. My weapon isn't good enough, thought Luo Feng. Okay. Teacher said if I killed 10 top-tier universe overlords or 1 universe master, he would make a pinnacle true treasure for me. I need a top-tier pinnacle true treasure like Flame God Halberd. He didn't need a domain-type pinnacle true treasure. After all, a top-tier pinnacle true treasure weapon was also highly valuable. Luo Feng took out a stone token. Teacher. Luo Feng's consciousness entered the token and started to pass the message. The token was an ordinary true treasure made by Sitting Mountain Guest for communications, which made Luo Feng admire Sitting Mountain Guest even more. Blood Cloud Pearl was used for disguise while tokens were used for communications. Those, plus Force Armor and Star Tower, all had strict requirements for those who used them. The true treasures made by Sitting Mountain Guest were largely different from those born in the universe. A message was conveyed immediately. Haha. Disciple. I've already heard what you did on the original star. But my question is, why did you fight that Star River Master? You've intimidated all the powers by doing that, and they won't want to encircle you anymore. Luo Feng was rendered speechless. If this was the case, no wonder teacher ran when he came across being stronger like Star River Master. His teacher was certainly able to create a body to resist Star River Master. I didn't think of that, said Luo Feng. Besides, I wouldn't have been able to run away. That's right. You're not good enough for that. Sitting Mountain Guest, while in disguise, was extremely proficient in escaping. Why are you contacting me? He asked. Teacher, I killed a body of Sinking Fire Master, said Luo Feng. It should be counted as killing a universe master. You're oversimplifying things, my disciple, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Luo Feng was speechless. Things were not going as he'd expected. Of course it doesn't count, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Killing a body should be as difficult as killing a real universe master, Luo Feng tried to argue. Of course it's not, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Blood Cloud Palace Leader is known for his fierceness. If it weren't for having another body, ordinary universe masters wouldn't even dare to fight you in the first place. As for those who have multiple bodies, they have the guts to take risks even if they're not strong enough. Do you really think Sinking Fire Master would fight you if he didn't have another body? Luo Feng said nothing. He knew he was right. Most of the universe masters chasing him were in groups, and those who acted alone had security. No one is such a fool, said Sitting Mountain Guest. It's not as easy as you think to kill a universe master. He only risked it because he had multiple bodies. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed. It won't be so easy to get your teacher to make a pinnacle true treasure for you. Luo Feng pouted, but it seemed there was nothing he could do. Teacher, I killed the body of that Sinking Fire Master and got some true treasures, but I can't exchange them. If I give them to my race, My identity will be exposed. Luo Feng was concerned about this. The valuables obtained by Blood Cloud Palace leader were stolen goods, and true treasures with great fame could be identified easily. It would be difficult to exchange them. That's right, said Sitting Mountain Guest. I'll handle it. Come here to exchange for a true treasure. Here are the coordinates of my place. Just come here. The coordinates were sent. Luo Feng looked forward to it. It had been a long time since Sitting Mountain Guest first became his teacher, but he had never been to his home yet. Sure, said Luo Feng. I'll be there as soon as possible. Luo Feng organized his true treasures, left his god country, and took off for the home of Sitting Mountain Guest. At an extreme end of the universe, in a deserted domain that was more than 9 billion light-years away from humanity, Luo Feng first used god country transportation to reach a place nearest to the coordinates he was given. Thereafter, he relied on teleportation. It took him 2 days, and finally, he arrived at his destination. Teacher, you have been staying here? In his silver armor and silver wings, with his ghost blade slung behind him, Luo Feng stood amid the dark of space. At one glance, it was pitch black everywhere, without a trace of light, without a single star. There was absolute silence and cold. Void land of the universe, Luo Feng said to himself. When the universe evolved, galaxies started popping up, positioned slightly apart from one another. A great quantity of galaxies would form a star field. The distance between star fields was expansive, and the distance between star sectors was much greater. As for the human domain and other domains, there would be an immeasurable, vast void, a pitch-black space that existed between them. Within the universe, these void spaces had diameters ranging from a few 100 million light-years to a few billion light-years, all of which were in complete silence and darkness. With Luo Feng's powers, his eyesight could not see even the slightest trace of light. One could never imagine how frighteningly immense this void space was. My dear disciple, do come in already, a voice sounded near Luo Feng's ears. Luo Feng turned right away. A dazzling, elegant, exquisite bridge appeared. The entire bridge seemed to be made of transparent crystal stones and bathed in gold. Luo Feng flew over immediately and landed on the bridge and made his way to the other end. The walk along the bridge enabled him to feel the intense change of space at once. Luo Feng immediately checked the universe coordinates and was shocked to discover that with every step he took on the bridge, he moved 10 million light-years. From this end of the bridge to the other, the universe coordinates had shifted 1.2 billion light-years. At the other end of the bridge was an exquisite-looking lake where all kinds of fish frolicked in the water. This isn't right, said Luo Feng. He turned to take a look behind him. Previously, the bridge had only seemed to be around 300 feet long, but he had traveled 1.2 billion light-years. The lake before him was also of a diameter, a few 100 feet. But according to what his godly power sensed, this was neither a lake nor were those fish in it. It was a domain-type true treasure that wields extremely strong power. Walking along the lake, he saw flower beds and grassy patches. This isn't right, Luo Feng repeated, taking a closer look. Those stalks of grass were actually huge, ancient trees with little stones adorned around them. They were actually metallic materials that were as big as a star level. Amazing. The control of universe space is unbelievably incredible, Luo Feng mused to himself as he walked. His teacher's residence was very quiet. As for that exquisite palace and lake, they were actually a flying palace-type true treasure and a domain-type true treasure, respectively. As for the other items, they were various sorts of precious materials. Entering the palace, Luo Feng came to a garden where he saw Sitting Mountain Guest holding a stone and caressing it with his eyes closed. Teacher. Luo Feng went to him and bowed deferentially. Sitting Mountain Guest opened his eyes and put the stone aside. Smiling at Luo Feng, he commented, "You made it here quite fast. Teacher, this place is too deserted. Otherwise, I would have arrived much earlier." Luo Feng also smiled. Teacher, why have you chosen such a place as your residence? The quiet. Sitting Mountain Guest said. And this void space is of a diameter that is more than 100 million light-years. Although it is devoid of anything and incomparably deserted, it is unfit for humans to live and multiply their numbers, but I am a lone wanderer, so this place, on the contrary, is good for me. Besides, this is only one of the many places where I live when I am in the primal universe. Oh yes, where are those stolen goods you took? What do you mean by stolen goods? Said Luo Feng. Luo Feng had no other alternative but to take everything Sinking Fire Master owned, the pair of godly hammers, his armor, and the green seed. Sitting Mountain Guest looked. What are you after? A pinnacle true treasure blade, Luo Feng replied. He took out a pair of godly hammers that were top-tier true treasures. Their powers could be combined when required. There was also the armor, which was also a top-tier true treasure, and the green seed, which was merely an ordinary soul-type true treasure. To the humans, it was worth 60 true treasure points, which was close to the value of a top-tier true treasure weapon. Not enough. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Luo Feng. I will not take advantage of you. I will definitely offer you a price that is 30% less than what you would need to pay to exchange for a true treasure within the race. But this is obviously not enough. Add in this ghost blade. Luo Feng took out ghost blade that was slung across his back. Since he was going to trade for a blade, this ghost blade would no longer be required. Sitting Mountain Guest still shook his head. Teacher, Luo Feng said, glaring. I only have this one pinnacle true treasure blade, Sitting Mountain Guest said. Although it may not be a pinnacle true treasure of the highest grade, these few true treasures you have here are really still not enough. Luo Feng frowned. The true treasures he had with him were all in use, and those that were being used were stored in the treasure room at Blood Cloud Palace. Sinking Fire Master might have owned several ordinary true treasures, but Luo Feng had categorized those and returned them to Blood Cloud Palace. After all, he did owe the treasure room in Blood Cloud Palace quite a few pieces of treasures. Oh, right. Within Sinking Fire Master's World Ring, there is one senior true treasure and a token of Xinchang Valley. Add these two. Luo Feng took out a green and gold medallion and the crystal token of Xinchang Valley. A token of Xinchang Valley? Sitting Mountain Guest looked and laughed. Well, I have been quite bored recently. Heading to Xinchang Valley for an adventure sounds good. All right, add on these two. We can barely make it now. Teacher, you are really going to Xinchang Valley? Luo Feng eyes widened. The birth of Xinchang Valley was a treasure the level of Blade River Luo, and it was yet to be completed. Luo Feng had a disambiguation mirror stone, so he was looking forward to the disambiguation temple more. He was not as eager to get into Xinchang Valley. Just to get a pinnacle true treasure weapon, going to Xinchang Valley was not a great deal, but this was a pinnacle true treasure weapon, and it was comparable to Blade River Luo. Why? Am I not allowed to? Sitting Mountain Guest stood up. Life is long. We have to find some pleasures to get us by. Sitting Mountain Guest walked afar as he shouted, still not coming? Don't you want you true treasure blade? Luo Feng hurriedly followed behind. They came to a palace hall that was decorated in a unique manner. All the walls within the hall were filled with a large quantity of sculptures, and every sculpture was engraved with many different patterns. There was a pattern that depicted a scene of two great beings fighting a battle on the vast plains. There was also a pattern that depicted a scene of a great being killing a large number of other great beings. The patterns all exuded some kind of ancient aura and power, causing the entire palace hall to be enshrouded in a strange atmosphere. Feels as though I am on a battlefield. Luo Feng was in the palace hall, feeling his heart set ablaze as he felt the impulse to fight and kill. He was appalled as he realized, my willpower can feel the influence. This palace hall is filled with true treasures, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Including the decorative items, all of them are true treasures. Majority of them are, however, just ordinary true treasures. Luo Feng's eyes scanned everything around him. There were many display cases and shelves in the hall, and on them were knives, blades, strings, ropes, shuttles, maces, hammers, axes, clocks, pagodas, boats, balls, flowers, grass, cloths, medallions, statues, cubes, all sort of items, strange and bizarre, numbering as many as a few thousand, scattered throughout the hall. All these all true treasures? Luo Feng was taken aback. All of these are. Even the items used to contain things are. Sitting Mountain Guest smiled. Ordinary true treasures were made easily and effortlessly, so to me, they do not really have much value. Like that transmission token, ornaments, decorative ornaments, and many others. All of these are just ordinary true treasures. Luo Feng went speechless at such wonders. Even craftsman master would not be able to make such statements. Only sitting mountain guest was qualified enough to dare say that ordinary true treasures were made so effortlessly. So, which is mine? Luo Feng asked. In that corner. Sitting mountain guest pointed to a faraway corner. Luo Feng looked to where sitting mountain guest was pointing and saw the seemingly ordinary blade in a corner of the room. He walked over right away. The scabbard was a dusty gray, and on it were some sculptures that looked beautiful. The moment Luo Feng reached out to touch it, he felt the presence of an evil spirit that was so overwhelming that it invaded his body instantly. Within the vast, black space, a blade several tens of thousands of miles long hung suspended horizontally in midair. The blade was slowly being drawn out of the sheath, and the frightening evil spirit seemed to continuously invade Luo Feng's willpower. The blade was completely unsheathed. A murderous intention whirled up in the air and spread all over. At this moment, Luo Feng's life imprint stored within his godly power was completely branded onto the blade. The blade shall be called Absolute Guest. Luo Feng whispered. Use this for now, sitting mountain guest said. This blade should be more than enough for you. Of course, what would suit you best would be a pinnacle true treasure blade that is made with your golden horn world stone as its core. All the limitless essence of gold in the world within your body converge to form a golden horn world stone. Once made into a weapon, it would be the most suitable one for you. The materials required were exceptionally more than usual, and you are still unable to provide me with those yet. Golden horn world stone? Luo Feng's eyes lit up. So, teacher did have his plans. Golden horn world stone is the convergence of the limitless essence of gold in the world within your body that was trillions of miles large. It is an extreme limit of the metallic materials within the primal universe. At least, within the primal universe, it was one of the top-tier metals. Only at Universe Ocean can you find something better than that. But, judging from your body, using golden horn world stone to make a weapon would be the most suitable for you. Luo Feng immediately asked, what are the materials I need? After you have killed a universe master or 10 top-tier universe overlords, then we shall talk about it, sitting mountain guest said. This pinnacle true treasure blade, absolute guest, is one treasure I expended a lot of hard work and effort to make. Don't let it down. Luo Feng nodded. All right, you should get going. Sitting mountain guest was not one to hold Luo Feng back. Yes. Since teacher had said so, Luo Feng gave a bow and left quickly. Looking on until Luo Feng was out of sight, sitting mountain guest returned to his seat in the garden and picked up the same piece of stone. Looking down at it, he sighed softly. When is the time I can further improve? Luo Feng had barely returned to his god country and was just getting started in familiarizing himself with the pinnacle true treasure blade absolute guest, which was extremely powerful. It was then that he received mail from Primal Chaos City Leader, who was in the virtual universe. Luo Feng, Blade River Master, regarding what happened on the original star, why didn't you come to me? Don't you know that the universe masters of humanity have not taken a break because of you? Come over here as soon as you can. The moment he read the mail, Luo Feng's eyes lit up and his heart started beating faster and faster. Of course, he should have guessed that what happened on the original stars would cause the higher-ups of humanity to commence with urgent meetings to discuss his actions. Now that teacher had summoned him, it seemed a concluding decision had been made. Teacher called me Blade River Master? Luo Feng could not be bothered with anything else and immediately let his consciousness connect to the virtual universe. At the apex of Thunder Island in the virtual universe, the giant, round graphite table was surrounded by endless airflow. There were 6 gigantic stone chairs around the table, each with complex sculptures on it. On the table were also numerous sculptures. Teacher, said Luo Feng. Take a seat. Primal Chaos City Leader sat down and pointed to the second chair on his left-hand side. Sit there. Sure. Luo Feng sat down and took a look at the stone table in front of him. He was curious as he never knew there was a place like this in his teacher's palace, and it was floating right above the palace of Primal Chaos City Leader. He glanced at the sculptures on the stone table. One of the pictures depicted 3 great beings saluting a great being, one depicted a great being doing mass slaughtering, and one depicted how 2 great beings attacked a group of great beings. The sculptures were abstract, but Luo Feng could tell that one was Primal Chaos City Leader. And there's my chair. Luo Feng sat down after he noticed the sculpture on the back of the chair. There were several scenes in the sculptures. One of them depicted an individual facing thousands of beings. Another depicted a huge oval enveloping all those thousands of beings, and they all died under that dome. You should have figured it out by now. Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng with a grinning face. The seniors of the human race decided that you're the 19th universe master of the human race. Luo Feng couldn't help be overjoyed at first. And then, he was a bit confused. The 19th one? That meant the human race had 18 universe masters in total before Luo Feng became one. That meant the human race had a great number of universe masters comparatively. The bug race and automaton race might only have fewer than 10 universe masters, and the demon race might have around the same number. Yes. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. But according to my information, Luo Feng looked confused. He had the access authority of a top-tier universe master, and he should have been able to get information about the universe masters of the human race and other powers in the universe. Based on the information he had on hand, there were only 15 universe masters in the human race. Why was he the 19th? You know of 15, right? Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. Each power has some secrets, and there are some hidden universe masters within our race. There are 18 universe masters in total in our human race, excluding you. There are 5 from the Virtual Universe Company and Huge Axe Dojo, 3 from the Universe Mercenary Alliance, 3 from the Universe First Bank, and 2 from Universe Star River Bank. Luo Feng listened carefully. What Primal Chaos City Leader had just said was different from what he knew. He knew there were only 4 in the Virtual Universe Company, so apparently, one was in the shadows the whole time. Of course, if we include you, there are 6 in total, now. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. You're the first disciple of mine to become a universe master. Ha ha ha. I have an edge at this in front of my brother now. Brother? Luo Feng couldn't help asking. You have a brother? 2, actually, said Primal Chaos City Leader. They are both universe masters, and there are lots of other brothers who are not universe masters. Luo Feng nodded. He also had lots of brothers. Wait. If there are brothers, there must be a teacher. Primal Chaos City Leader had 2 brothers who were universe masters, which meant that teacher had 3 disciples who were universe masters. Who was he? Let me introduce you to the universe masters of my Virtual Universe Company. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. The first one is Longyang Master. He's an elder in my Virtual Universe Company, and has been a universe master for a very long time. You've met him before. Luo Feng nodded. The second one, also my brother, is Ice Mountain Master. He's very aloof, but he's great at handling the important issues. Luo Feng knew of this Ice Mountain Master, too. He was a great being proficient in close combat, and he was one of the pinnacle universe masters as well. He was only slightly weaker than Primal Chaos City Leader, and he might have been stronger than Flame Emperor. The third one, also my brother, is Darkness Master. He's rarely involved with the issues of the human race, and he hardly ever shows up. Few know of him, and he's a very low-key disciple of our teacher. Without letting anyone know, he has become a universe master. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. Luo Feng was startled. Darkness Master. He'd never heard of him. Even the powers of the universe don't know about him, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Of course, Darkness Master is well known in the universe ocean, and he's a terrifying universe master. Haha. The powers in the universe don't even know that Darkness Master is of the human race when they run into him in the universe ocean. The fourth one is Remote Lord Master, said Primal Chaos City Leader. He's the youngest of the 5 universe masters in the Virtual Universe Company before you joined. And he's a disciple of Darkness Master. Luo Feng was startled. Remoteness Lord Master was also a reckless universe master who was great in killing and combat. Of course, he was weaker than Ice Mountain Master and Primal Chaos City Leader, but he was also a strong universe master. He was at the same level as the previous Blood Cloud Palace leader. And he was a disciple of Darkness Master. My brother's disciple became a universe master, and now, my disciple has also become a universe master. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. From now on, there will be 6 universe masters in the virtual universe. Okay, I'll call the 4 of them here now. The universe masters of the virtual universe should gather first. Luo Feng nodded. There were several groups in the human race, and the virtual universe was a group itself. However, the group had significant power, as Primal Chaos City Leader and Ice Mountain Master were both top-tier universe masters. Longyang Master was not much weaker. As for Darkness Master, he was mysterious and probably rivaled Primal Chaos City Leader. Although Remote Lord Master was a youngster, he was also powerful. Luo Feng was as strong as Remote Lord Master, without Star Tower, of course. Luo Feng sat there and waited. A being walked in. He was lanky and had a horn on both of his ears. There was an eye between the eyebrows, and he wore scaled navy armor. He didn't wear his Remote Lord Bernett, as he was in the virtual universe. Luo Feng recognized him immediately and stood up. Remote Lord Master. Luo Feng. Remote Lord Master looked fierce, but he was still smiling when he saw Luo Feng. Remote Lord Master, Luo Feng said again, smiling. Uncle. Remote Lord Master bowed to Primal Chaos City Leader to show respect but didn't bow low. After all, he was a universe master. Sit, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Interesting. Another being walked in. That towering body and the dragon tail. It was Longyang Master. I haven't seen the universe masters from the huge axe dojo that upset for a long time. Longyang Master sat down and gave Luo Feng a nod. Luo Feng, you were really impressive on that original star when you killed more than 6,000 universe knights in one strike. We calculated that each alliance lost at least one domain-type pinnacle true treasure. Luo Feng shook his head. I could have done better. I should have fought Master of Banfu for a longer time so that more universe knights went into the zone. Longyang Master and Remote Lord Master were at first dazed, then started to guffaw. Suddenly, a sense of coldness permeated. It was a silver-haired man carrying a blade on his back. He wore ancient armor with bloodstains on it, and he was the most handsome universe master in the virtual universe company. It was Ice Mountain Master. Ice Mountain Master nodded at Primal Chaos City Leader and sat down. He glanced at Longyang Master, Luo Feng, and Remote Lord Master, and they all nodded at him. So cold, Luo Feng thought. Suddenly, a being walked in from the distance, and before they could see clearly who he was, a wicked, dark force permeated. He wore a black coat outside and silver and black armor inside. He was bald, and his skin was like jade. There were complex black engravings on his head, and he gazed at people like a snake extending his tongue. Even space and time were affected by him, trapped in a strange atmosphere. Brother, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Brother, said Darkness Master. Luo Feng was startled. He suddenly realized the difference between his teacher Primal Chaos City Leader and Darkness Master. Primal Chaos City Leader looked peaceful and tranquil while Darkness Master was endlessly dark and wicked. They had exactly the opposite aura. And their power was at the same level. No wonder, thought Luo Feng. His Darkness Master. Darkness Master stood in his chair and looked at Luo Feng. Brother, is this your disciple, Luo Feng? The moment Darkness Master set his eyes on someone, a creepy and strange tune would seem to start reverberating in that person's mind. Then, without being able to resist, the person would fall under his influence. The flow of illusion consisted of an unconscious penetration of the mind to draw one into an illusion. Darkness Master did not make use of any disguise, and everyone knew about his invisible influence, but pulling away from it was very difficult. Luo Feng, this is your teacher uncle, Primal Chaos City Leader said. The moment he spoke, the spookiness in the surroundings became mild, while that creepy, strange force seemed to be wiped out. Teacher uncle, Luo Feng greeted. I heard you have cultivated for slightly over 1 billion years. Darkness Master studied Luo Feng's face and continued, I am not surprised you have been able to reach this standard within such a short time, since for an endless time, you have been my brother's most outstanding disciple. Luo Feng replied, actually, the time I spent on cultivation was not only slightly over 1 billion years. I once cultivated for a long time at a place where time flew by extremely fast. Everyone, including Primal Chaos City leader, nodded. They were all relieved, but places like House of Time required an alarming amount of energy to sustain revolution, and the greater the rate of time velocity, the more expensive it would cost. Therefore, the more difficult sustenance would be. Furthermore, the evolution of the universe would last for an endless time, and combat was the best method for honing skills and building up bodies. This was why few top powers would send their geniuses to a certain place in isolation to get them to cultivate diligently. All right. Primal Chaos City leader scanned his surroundings. As of today, the 6 leaders of the Virtual Universe branch are all gathered here. At the moment, Longyang Master, Ice Mountain Master, Darkness Master, Yuhu Master, and Luo Feng all looked over to listen to what Primal Chaos City leader had to say. In terms of power and status, Primal Chaos City leader was unquestionably the leading figure of the Virtual Universe branch. The birth of one more Universe Master would be a blessing for us in the Virtual Universe, and it is also a blessing for humanity, said Primal Chaos City leader with a smile. And this disciple of mine, when it comes to survival ability, he beats all 6 of us hands down. Oh! Darkness Master looked over. Ice Mountain Master also looked at Luo Feng silently. Really? Yuhu Master and Longyang Master asked outright. Primal Chaos City leader elaborated. Luo Feng. For one thing, he has the talent of being able to divide bodies. 2. One of his bodies has a life form that resembles that of 9 Remoteness Master. 9 Remoteness Master? Darkness Master, Longyang Master, Ice Mountain Master, Yuhu Master all looked over at Luo Feng in surprise. Luo Feng said, I was just lucky. He showed no trace of displeasure toward his teacher's candid approach in pointing out his capabilities, as he was aware that he had to fight for his status with his capability. From how things looked to him, the Virtual Universe branch was the strongest. His apparent capability should be close to that of Yuhu Master, who was the weakest of the lot. So long as he was able to show part of his capability, his status would be different. Moreover, whether his remote ocean body was revealed or not would not make much difference. It was just like how 9 Remoteness Master openly made known to the entire universe that no one would be able to do anything to him. Luo Feng. How big is the ocean of your godly body? Darkness Master asked out of curiosity. It was something the few other Universe Masters present were curious about, too. After all, 9 Remoteness Master's ocean godly body was comparable to a supreme true treasure and was something many great beings were secretly envious of. The time I spent on cultivation was short, so the ocean of my godly body is still in the initial stage of expansion, Luo Feng said. Its diameter is only a couple tens of billions of miles. A couple tens of billions? Yuhu Master took a deep breath. Darkness Master, Longyang Master, and Ice Mountain Master were all taken aback. Gosh! Even the Li Volcano and World Tree, which were considered to have immensely large godly bodies, were only slightly past 6 billion miles. Such godly bodies were more than enough to send great beings into despair, so learning that Luo Feng's ocean godly body was several tens of billions of miles wide was astounding news. Everyone could only stare wide-eyed and mouth agape. The speed at which great beings fought and attacked to cause such an ocean to be used up would never match up to the speed of its self-recovery. Amazing. Admirable. What a massive godly body. Darkness Master and Ice Mountain Master sang Luo Feng's praises. They were starting to see him in a different light. Previously, their only impression of him was that he was just another Universe Master of humanity. Luo Feng's combat power was still much lower compared to theirs, but he had a limitless remote ocean that they did not possess, and because of this, Luo Feng's status immediately rose up the ranks. The question was, why was 9 Remoteness Master so frightening? The answer was because 9 Remoteness Master would always make use of his strongest talent technique and risk his life for every fight he was involved in. Even if 9 Remoteness Master were to self-destruct, within a twinkling of the eye, a new 9 Remoteness Master would appear. On the other hand, even if his opponent also had the talent of dividing bodies, to recover from the loss of a strong godly body would entail a hefty price. This was why 9 Remoteness Master became such an intimidating presence within the universe. Luo Feng. Darkness Master let out a smile, which was most rarely seen, and said, "With your remote ocean body, making use of the strongest technique of a universe master, you self-destruct. This technique alone would enable you to run rampant throughout the universe." Luo Feng nodded with a smile. Yes. I am the universe was a technique that was very demanding on one's godly power. When one had reached the undying level, only with the perfect life gene level could he make use of this technique. Upon reaching the universe night level, remote ocean body would need a godly power that was at least 10 times stronger to be able to make use of I am the universe. With a body that was 5,500 miles tall, one could fully make use of I am the universe. The ultimate attack technique was to directly carry out destruction of miniature universe. His original earthling body and golden horned beast body did not dare to make use of destruction of miniature universe because the explosive power of this technique did not have the ability to differentiate foe from self. There was the possibility of self-annihilation. Yet remote ocean body had nothing to fear. From Luo Feng's point of view, he was now merely a universe knight. For remote ocean body to make use of this technique of universe destruction, the power was not strong enough. When he had become a universe master, then this technique would truly instill fear among the other great beings. Remote ocean body was a trump card that would earn Luo Feng a unique status. Primal Chaos City leader smiled and said, "We will be carrying out the highest level meeting of the human race in a while. But before that, Luo Feng, for your status as universe master, what do you intend to use as your name?" "My name as a universe master?" Luo Feng mused to himself. "Blade River Emperor was only one of your disguises previously," Primal Chaos City leader said. "Now, the whole universe calls you by the name of Blade River Master. You can use Blade River Master, or you can use another name of your choice. Upon becoming a universe master, maybe you will have your own opinions. This is why the majority of universe masters change their names to something new. Like me. When my teacher entrusted me with Primal Chaos City, to constantly remind myself of my teacher's entrustment, I changed my name to Primal Chaos City Leader." Luo Feng nodded. He understood. For some universe masters, if they were weaker, they did not dare to give themselves names that sounded overpowering, as this would cause other beings to look down on them. However, as they get more powerful, their ambitious goals would start to change. Therefore, they would change their universe names. A name, Luo Feng said to himself. Some great beings renamed themselves according to the weapons they were skilled in using. Some renamed themselves something in remembrance of their hometown or something in their hearts they wanted to hold on to. Some renamed themselves purely out of ambitious goals. Luo Feng smiled and announced, "Milky Way Horde Leader. I shall be called Milky Way Horde Leader." He could still remember those days on Earth when he looked up at the sky to see the limitless Milky Way filled with stars. The Milky Way, where home was. Making it to where he was today, was it all not for the sake of protecting his loved ones? Was it not for the sake of protecting his hometown? Horde Leader. It also represented his territory, so he needed to defend his own territory. Milky Way Horde Leader. The 5 universe masters gave his choice some thought, then all nodded in agreement. A name was merely a designation. When one chose to give himself another name, the other great beings would not interfere unless the name was simply too awful or was a taboo that must be abstained from. Otherwise, regardless of how weird a name was, it truly did not matter. "Okay," said Primal Chaos City Leader. "So the 6th universe master of the virtual universe branch will be Milky Way Horde Leader." He suddenly stood up and said, "Let's go. We shall go meet the creator of our virtual universe branch now." Creator of our virtual universe branch? Luo Feng felt a little tremor of fear in his heart. Hugh Jack's creator was the creator of Hugh Jack's dojo. But the creator of the virtual universe branch? Who could that be? Luo Feng had tried to search for answers in the past but always ended up with no returns. His authority was limited and thus, insufficient. Darkness Master also stood up. Let's go meet teacher. To meet teacher. Ice Mountain Master followed suit. In an instant, all 6 Universe Master ascended to the sky amidst a limitless chaotic airflow and advanced along the path of the airflow. Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City Leader, said as he flew. I, Darkness, and Ice Mountain are all teacher's disciples. Teacher has made great contributions to humanity. If not for him, humanity would never be able to become a pinnacle race so easily. Even Huge Axe Creator had once received teacher's guidance and kindness. He was humanity's first universe supreme being. Following Primal Chaos City Leader's voice, Longyang Master, who was beside them, also said, I have also received his kind guidance. Luo Feng held his breath. He knew he had touched on highly confidential information about humankind. All these years, and he only knew that humanity had Huge Axe Creator. Even Sitting Mountain Guest only knew Huge Axe Creator. The strongest being in humanity that everyone knew of was Huge Axe Creator. They had not heard of another. Teacher's name is Origin, Primal Chaos City Leader said. Previously, humankind was only a strong race. Under teacher's guidance, we have grown and gotten stronger. Teacher ran rampant in the universe, roamed the universe ocean, and killed countless to eventually build up his reputation. This had allowed humanity to gain power and continue to grow stronger. In the primal universe, there are quite a few universe supreme beings, but teacher can be said to be incomparable. The other supreme beings keep their distance if they see him from afar. All the way across the universe ocean, his name is always the most renowned, continued Primal Chaos City Leader. Invincible. No one is comparable to teacher. Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes were filled with admiration as memories of past events came flashing back. Even Darkness Master, Ice Mountain Master, and Longyang Master fell silent. They were all immersed in their memories of their teacher. Previously, when humanity gained its reputation as a top power, even the ancestral God School, who has the protection of the universe Origin, was reluctant to provoke our race. At that time, we humans were at our prime. The 6 Universe Masters flew through space together, causing the chaotic airflow in the surroundings to be continuously forced apart. There was absolute silence all around. Only Primal Chaos City Leader's voice could be heard. Luo Feng was also completely immersed in his imagination as he tried to picture the one presence which, from the primal universe all the way across universe ocean, was said to be formidable. Even other supreme beings knew to keep their distance. We have arrived. Primal Chaos City Leader said. Luo Feng raised his head to look and saw that surrounded by the airflow were countless towering statues. There were endless fluctuations in the various laws of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, light, space, time, golden space, wooden space, water space. Various sorts of laws, to the extent of the fluctuations in the laws of revolution, all seemed to surge out of the countless statues. With a faraway look in his eyes, Luo Feng seemed to have felt the similarity between these countless towering statues and the universe origins. This video will end here.